Thank you, buddy. Well, there's Roger. We're going to bring Roger Slagle back, the Horry County GOP. Roger, you were fired, or not fired, excuse me. They know better. And to think that he put up shared a video. Holy shit. How is Drew McKissick not fired me or said he's taken my EC away because I'm a proud member and delegate. And he hasn't got rid of me yet because he doesn't have the spine. That's why Mark Benoit would never come down to our house in Horry County, which is the independent republic, because he would get crushed, not physically, but just because we know our stuff. Now, Roger, I'm going to do the quickness here because you and I can talk forever. We do on the reg. And what I want to put out there is that you were the chairman along with Tracy Beans and Jeremy Halpin. Jeremy Halpin and Tracy Beans and yourself decided to resign on what date?
September 12th.
On September 12th. During that meeting, you stated that we are going to resign. When was that effective date to take place?
September 30.
September 30. In the bylaws of our pretty much everybody's. Again, this is systemic across the United States. And I forgot to do this. So I got to read off my phone. So bear with me here. Let's see. Actually, I'll let you talk about the vacancy. So South Carolina Republican Party rules, Rule 5, Section E3. Oh, cool. It does that. I can see better. Should the office of the county chairman, county vice chair, or state executive committee become vacant, a county executive committee shall fill the vacancy by electing a chairman, vice chairman, or executive committeeman, respectively, for the expired time. Roger Slagle, you said it on the 12th. You stated it was going to be on the 30th that you were going to resign. Correct. You called for an emergency meeting of our executive committee to elect the positions that have resigned to continue to see over the HCGOP. You called for those elections. People put their names in and whatnot. And you walked up there that day on the 26th. And what did you say?
I basically said that I'm rescinding my resignation or I'm withdrawing my resignation. It was still 4 days before the effective date. And, the place went kind of nuts. And
in a positive way. You got a lot of claps.
Let's say half the people, yes. And the other half, maybe not so much.
All right. So Robert's Rules of Order, a resignation is a request to be excused from a duty. It may be withdrawn in the same manner as any motion may be withdrawn. That is to say, before the proposed resignation has been placed before the assembly by the chair stating the question on its acceptance, it may be withdrawn without the consent of the assembly. Again, without the consent of the assembly, but it may not be withdrawn with permission of the assembly once it has been placed before the assembly for its approval. Chairman Slagle did not receive consent from the ECs. There was never a vote by the executive committee on your resignation.
No.
Therefore, allowing for a withdrawal of his resignation in the same order in which he gave it. Now, the big question is, Drew, the petulant child McKissick, hates you and me and us, right? I mean, I'll say
Seems that way.
Because we're in his way, right? So he put out a thing saying, I accepted your resignation, which he actually sent an email, 30 minutes before that emergency meeting, correct?
Yeah, and not to me. Not to me.
He never sent it to you to accept, right?
I mean, okay. I saw it later, but yeah.
And everything else that we've been able to find states that you, in fact, have every right to rescind your resignation because you're the top of the pendulum, or you're the top of the heap there, and the boss, and the only people that could tell you otherwise is that of the executive committee, and no vote was ever taken or discussed, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Horry County Republican Party bylaws. Now that we've got the state, South Carolina Republican bylaws, we have the Robert's Rule of Order bylaws. Now let's do Horry County specific, shall we? Article 3, Section 2, election of a provisional Horry County Republican County Chairman as the first meeting of the County Executive Committee after the party's convention. The County Executive Committee shall elect from among its members as a provisional chairman of the party. We did that. His name is Mike Caton. He walks around and he looks like a baked potato. He wears all the shiny jackets and stuff we show. He's a real winner. Where was I? Executive Committee shall elect from its members. The sole function of the provisional chairman shall be to assume the duties and function of the chairman. In the event both the chairman or the vice chairman positions should simultaneously become vacant and they are unable to serve, this would go into place for the provisional chairman, correct?
That's correct.
So when this happened and the SCGOP lost their ever-loving mind when you rescinded your resignation, thankfully, thank God, Mr. Potato Head went up there in his jacket and all that and said, I'm the provisional chairman. We are going to have an election. It's going to be held here and it's going to be done here and we're going to do this, right?
Correct.
Well, it says right here in our own bylaws that it was never vacant. How do we know it was never vacant? Because you were the chairman and you presided over the very meeting that you pulled your resignation.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
Did the ECs, after you pull your resignation, lose their ever-loving mind and say, no, we have a motion to carry?
No.
Yes, they started. No, they didn't. They just started clapping profusely.
Yeah. And they wanted to get out of there. At least half the group.
And we were unable to have the rest of the elections because the other side completely lost their mind and called for a motion to adjourn, and we did so. Yeah. How about case law? That seems to be a big thing with the courts. Case law regarding withdrawal of a resignation. For your convenience, here's a paragraph that relates to the subject at hand. Resignation can also be made to be effective at some future date, i.e. the 30th, correct?
Exactly.
However, the elected official may change his or her mind and withdraw the resignation at any point up to the time specified for the resignation to be effective. Once the specific time period for the resignation is reached, it's automatically effective without any further action being required by the governing body. Chairman Roger Slagle withdrew his resignation before the effective date on September 26th. So, we have case law, we have Robert's rules, we have South Carolina Republican Party rules, and we have the Horry County Republican Party bylaws. I ask you, could you, in Drew McKissick's statement that he did here, or I'll do it in a minute, when the other side went and had their own little party and they elected all their malcontents, is it not true that he followed none of this?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think they conveniently...
He actually says in his letter that per South Carolina law. Have you seen this law yet?
No. And I've asked, for, I've gotten a few responses from Mr. McKissick, basically saying that, that I can't rescind a resignation, according to South Carolina Republican Party rules. I asked him to quote me the specific rule that makes reference to this. Nothing. We've been through the state rules. There's nothing in there. I think it's important. I think it's important to also mention, without getting too far into the weeds, is exactly what you just spoke about. As far as parliamentary rules, Robert's rules. If, let's say, and it says clearly in the state rules and also in bylaws, that when the rules or the bylaws are silent on a topic, and this is very specific. You're talking about a rescission of a resignation and then acceptance and things like that. I mean, if it's silent on that or doesn't get into the specificity, then you go to parliamentary rules, and the one that you read is very applicable, and that is in the state rules.
So I want to bring Mickey back for a second. Mickey, he's still here, and because there is something I forgot, but we just went into it. Mickey, welcome back. You have a precinct. So, Roger, what the chairman of the state, the petulant child, Drew McKissick, told you was that you cannot rescind a resignation, correct?
Yeah, he said it was, I'm paraphrasing, but it basically said, per SCGOP, Republican Party rules, that was not allowed.
Well, I'll be damned. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you my favorite little bastard, hypocrisy. Sir, Mr. Mickey, you have a precinct called Union, correct?
South Union precinct, yes.
South Union. I'm sorry for the Southeast. You had a Drew McKissick sycophant or supporter, if you will, that was the EC there who resigned, correct?
Yes, and he resigned effective immediately.
Okay. With that resignation, 4 days later, what happened?
So what ended up happening is, as soon as he gave that resignation out, of course, his precinct members were happy to get rid of him.
We do like a win. We do like a win. I promise.
Yeah. So the president called for a nominating of a new EC, and the chair, or not the chair, the vice chair, because the chair was removed, realized that he was going to lose votes. And he requested that Luke Moore actually stay on.
Mm-hmm. Well, he wait. No. Stop it, Oconee. No, Roger Slagle was just told by the petulant child, Drew McKissick, and all of his buttons and shiny shit, and said, you cannot rescind a resignation in the SCGOP. Sir, I'm going to need you to be honest with me. How in the wide world of sports is it okay in Oconee County?
Well, you're forgetting. It's the rules for thee, but not for me.
Oh, I did forget that shit. I'm sorry. You're right.
That's where you screwed up. You forgot that.
We screwed up.
So, basically, we did use the letter from Horry County and the case law, and went through it and tried to prove out. We actually did prove out our case. I was the parliamentarian during the precinct meeting, and Luke Moore did not bring up any rejections, no point of orders, nothing. And he was even offered the chance to run again, and he decided not to run again. So the new EC was voted in with the supermajority, and he took his office. And the last county executive committee meeting that we went to, Jim Mann had him removed.
Wait, he was won by a supermajority over Mr. Resignation. The HCGOP chairman was given a letter and said that you cannot do that under any way, shape, or form, you rebel. So, am I right?
And there's another piece to the story.
Uh-oh.
So, prior to that meeting, the District 5 director got a call from Mark telling her that he...
Wait, Mark Benoit.
Yes, Mark Benoit, telling her that he could not remove this EC.
Because there's nothing in a bylaw anywhere other than supporting a Democrat during a primary to be removed as an EC, because the Lord our God and Drew McKissick and every other son of a bitch up there in Columbia would have Chad Caton removed forthwith.
So that really tells me that it was not Jim Mann that removed the duly elected EC, South Union EC, at the last executive committee meeting at the county. It was actually Drew McKissick.
Okay, so to put it into perspective, Roger Slagle, you were told that you are not allowed to resign and come back. Now, Mr. Mickey, you're telling me that an executive committeeman in South Union Precinct resigned 4 days later, came back, and Drew McKissick's like, he has every right to do that. It's like so stupid. What are you guys doing? And that person that you all elected, you know, that whole thing about the Republic and, you know, voting and shit, we don't care about that because I need my guy to be voting the right way. Am I paraphrasing correctly?
I think you hit the nail on the head. You need so many of the precinct representatives to be able to change bylaws, and I think that's the next thing that we need to watch out for. We already seen how Rule 16 has affected us.
Oh, look at me. I'm looking to
see the bylaw changes.
Rule 16, no individual who holds any party, office, or delegate or alternate position may be party to any legal action against the party at any level or against party officers in their official capacities. Doing so shall result in an immediate vacancy of said office or delegate or alternate position. Well, ain't that a bitch? So, well, I believe they call that the Jeff Davis defense or Jeff Davis rule in Greenville because he keeps suing the piss out of them because they're always wrong.
Well,
but now let me ask you a question. They brought up Rule 16, and you brought Rule 16 up because they actually sued you and Mr. David. And this was Drew McKissick. Oh, wait, I hit the wrong. Damn, I was smooth on that one too. Fellow Republicans, this letter is to confirm that despite suggestions to the contrary by those who have no experience with our party rules, and you can hear him go, our state law regarding political parties in South Carolina, the remaining Oconee Republican Party officers have acted appropriately. No rules, including 16A, were violated in the course of recent events, particularly to 16A. It is clear that the defendants in the case were our former officer of the Oconee GOP, having been duly removed by their duly's a serious word, removed from their positions by vote of the committee within SCGOP staffer present. So he's just a staffer and not a parliamentarian. And serving as a parliamentarian. Oh, he's serving as a parliamentarian. Holy shit. Staffer to parliamentarian in 3 words. Further, the term officer, the in-state party rules, applies to those in elected positions created by the rules. Hopefully, this unfortunate episode will be behind us quickly, and the Oconee GOP can stay focused on our purpose as a party organizing to be prepared to win elections. I greatly appreciate all that you are in a party, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's weird. He's saying that it doesn't have to do with that when you guys are saying that you were never able to adjudicate whether or not you should have been kicked out because you were never able to put together a defense because the staffer / parliamentarian that nobody recognizes as 20-something years old said you guys were done and that's it. And so they're saying that you're not in the party anymore when you were you were still at the time had the money and the data and everything else. So,
well, we had one other thing.
Okay.
That's not mentioned. So the lawsuit was brought against a member that they tried voting out that night that was not voted out. So she remained in good standing. Mm-hmm. Shannon Baker was her name. The lawsuit mentioned her in this action. She was the precinct vice president. She's a delegate, and she's the District 1 director. And if you read in the the SC GOP rules under the definitions of what a county officer is, it states that they can be elected or appointed.
There you go. So again, rules for thee, but not for me.
There you go.
Am I right? All right. Let me come back to Roger. Thank you for coming back in because that was a perfect timing. I mean, we looked like we really knew what the hell we were doing there. Thank you for doing that. And again, throwing down the bombs that Drew McKissick did. And for those of you that are waiting for the big bombs, it's coming up here directly. Let me get with Roger. Roger, so we've proven that you are still the chairman based on the bylaws, the Roberts rules, the state bylaws, the Horry County bylaws, and we actually have Supreme Court. What is it? What do we call it?
Case law.
We actually have case law. So what mystical shit do they have out there that says otherwise to the point where they have done this? And this is Drew McKissick's letter to confirm the executive committee of the Horry County Republican Party met October 11, 2022 to elect new officers to the Horry County Republican Party. The following officers were elected at that time and accepted as such by the South Carolina Republican Party. Chairman Reese Boyd III, Esquire. Vice Chairman Robert Visconti. He apparently punches hoods of cars. State Executive Committeeman Mike Conant. He's the guy dressed up in the Mr. Potato jacket. These officers are the current duly elected officers to the Republican Party of Horry County, will continue to serve until the next convention in the Horry County Republican Party, which is anticipated to be held in or around April 2023. If we can provide any further information concerning the matter, please do not hesitate to contact me at any time. Douchebag. Okay. So let me ask you here, because I want to keep everybody with us here because we're getting ready to get to the big shit. Drew McKissick is out there putting together a whole new HCGOP. Do you have the bank account to the HCGOP?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the data to the HCGOP?
I do.
Okay. Now, when they did this, it's to be understood that there needs to be a 2/3 vote to vote in a new executive staff committee, meaning the chair, vice chair, and state executive committee person. They had 48, or they had just a majority. They did not have a 2/3. And Drew McKissick, in his own bylaws, is now accepting. This is his acceptance letter of the new ones. When the whole time we've shown that he has put together auxiliary groups and groups that have tried to just destroy us because we don't like him because he's not a Republican and he's a scumbag. I mean, it's just what it is. That's my words. I'll just say it. So that being said, where are you now in this whole thing? Because I went to a meeting the other day.
Yeah, and let me just say, I think there's sort of two things. One is, I never vacated my position. I rescinded prior to the effective date, so there never should have been a vote for my position. Regarding vice chair and state EC, you're absolutely right. They didn't have the required 2/3 quorum to elect those two positions.
So we haven't found in anything based off of any of the bylaws or laws and what we are governed by in the Republican world we live in any way, shape, or form that says otherwise, that you are not the chairman.
That's correct.